Hello guys, One here, and we've got a walbro carburetor that came off of a Ryobi blower. We're going to take this down and I'll show you what carburetor kit you need and in order to repair this if it is needed. So we're going to go through this carburetor here. First we're going to take off the fuel pump diaphragm, and it looks good. I just rebuilt this not too long ago. This is your fuel pump diaphragm, this is your fuel pump gasket. We'll set everything on the side here. And then you might want to tilt the choke out the way. There's 4 screws to hold on the metering diaphragm. We'll pull that off here. Okay, we've got that off. Here's the new metering diaphragm. Going to pull that off. Looks good. You don't want it to be stiff or super flimsy. It's just right. And here's the gasket. I'm going to leave it on here. Now to take these take the needle valve out, you just want to unscrew this a little bit. Hold this down. Just unscrew it enough to get it out. And it should just lift up out the side here. Like so. Don't lose that spring, and then you've got your needle valve, little teeny tiny needle valve. It looks good. So we're going to stick everything back together. Now the carburetor kits that you can get for this, the needle valve is a lot bigger, but you don't really need to replace the needle valve usually. It's just mainly this diaphragm is usually the one you need to replace. But if you need to replace the fuel pump diaphragm and everything, you'll need K10 watt, walbro K10 watt, and then the other carburetor, if you're just going to be replacing the diaphragm, will be D10 watt. You can look that up on eBay. They're all over the place for like $5 and $6. So the first thing we're going to do is put the needle valve back in. And this is a walbro carburetor, just to let you know. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put the needle valve back in. We're going to put this and the spring back in. Get the little lever here. Stick the lever together here like this. And then we're going to grab the spring. We're going to stick it back down in there. A little groove. You might want to kind of hold it up so that you can get it level. And then we're going to stick it down in the little groove for the clip to go into the needle valve, and then kind of just move that over, and then you're there. And then you want to put the spring in. The spring should already be in there. Just grab a Phillips head screwdriver and kind of stick it underneath of there. There's a little groove under there, underneath of your needle valve, where it goes. So let me get a little Phillips head screwdriver here. We'll get her back together. I repaired a lot of these, so I know what carburetor kits and stuff to use. These are on a lot of Poland chainsaws, Poland chainsaws. It's back together, and then we're just going to screw it back down. And I'll show you how it's flush. Don't want to torque that down too much. It needs to be flush with this here. So it needs to be flush right here. Right here it needs to be flush. Make sure it's working good. And it is. So now what we're going to do here is put the metering diaphragm back on and put the bottom cover back on. The metering diaphragm is good on here, so we won't need to replace that, because like I said, I just replaced this carburetor not too long ago. Well, I didn't replace the carburetor, but I replaced the diaphragms and stuff in it. So let's put these 4 screws in. I like to torque them down evenly. I will tell you the exact model of this carburetor, just in case you need it for your Ryobi blower. Now we're going to put the fuel pump diaphragm and gasket back on. And there's a screen in there, and it looks very clean down through there. Make sure that you stick it in there and you'll feel the grooves. It'll lock into the grooves. You might have to link your throttle a little bit, your throttle lever. And we want to stick the big screw back in the top. Make sure everything's even, and then just torque it down. You don't need to over tighten it, just get it snug. And there you go. Here's your throttle linkage, and here's your choke. Everything's all good. Now on this carburetor, it only has a low screw. The high screw, it doesn't have one. It's just this little round rod, and then you've got your low screw that you can adjust, and then you got your idle screw that you can adjust. And this is a 003 WT57-8 carburetor, walbro, and they are made in Mexico. Right there, Mexico. So, alright guys, well, I hope this video helps breaking down the walbro carburetor for a Ryobi blower. Alright guys, don't forget, sign out. Peace. Hope you like it. Comment, subscribe for more videos. Peace.